I came home and my foster parents sat me down. "You have to leave," they said. I thought they were joking. But then I saw the papers in front of them and my heart dropped. I, 18M, was informed earlier today that I need to pack up and leave by the end of the week. I still can't fully process it. I'm in shock. I was removed from my biological family at the age of 7 due to issues with my parents and was placed in foster care. Eventually, I was matched with a couple, whom I'll refer to as the Peters, not their real name, though I'm tempted to expose them. The Peters always treated me kindly, and since I was still young when I moved in, I eventually saw them as my parents. I called them Mom and Dad, and I treated their biological son as my own brother. I wasn't the only foster child they took in. They also have a 9-year-old boy who's been with them for about a year. However, they never officially adopted me. I understood why. They relied on the fostering allowance. That never really bothered me because they assured me that legal paperwork didn't define family, and I believed them. Earlier today, I checked their agency's website and found out they had been receiving at least £2,400 per month for fostering me, until I turned 18, when the payment stopped. However, they had applied for a staying put arrangement, which allowed them to continue receiving financial support for me, though at a reduced rate, around £1,000 per month. They told me it was approved until I turned 21, so I assumed I'd have a stable place to stay while finishing university. But today, they sat me down and told me I have to leave. They said fostering is a business, and the reduced allowance isn't enough to keep me. I have 4 days to move out. How generous of them. They need my room to take in another foster child. And to top it off, they assured me it was nothing personal, as if that makes it any less painful. They also said they'd still consider me like a son, but not their son, and want to keep in touch. What a joke. They're choosing to kick me out, an 18-year-old with no job, no income, and nowhere to go, right before I start university. Meanwhile, their biological son, who's 25, still gets to live there. So yeah. I guess I was never truly part of their family. I was just another foster kid, temporary, replaceable, and ultimately unwanted. Update. Thank you all for your advice, I really appreciate it. Honestly, I was in complete shock yesterday, and I probably still am today. I wasn't thinking clearly. I barely got 2 hours of sleep last night, so I'm probably running on fumes right now. First, I've reached out to my personal advisor, and he's scheduled an emergency meeting with me at 1:30. Hopefully, I'll get more clarity on what's going to happen next, and he'll be able to arrange emergency accommodation for me. Second, for those pointing out that the Peters can't legally kick me out with just 4 days' notice, I plan to bring this up with my PA and get his advice. That being said, I don't want to stay here any longer than necessary. Ever since they told me to leave, it's like I don't even exist to them. They won't even look at me. But I'm not moving out until I have a safe place to go. I refuse to be made homeless. Third, regarding my university, I do have an offer, but it's conditional on achieving my predicted A-level results. Hopefully, I'll get them, but since I'm not officially a student yet, I'm not sure if they'll offer any support at this stage. Lastly, I'll also make sure the Peters stop receiving the staying put allowance. If I'm not living with them, they shouldn't be getting that money. I'll let my PA know about this today. Fortunately, I do have some savings, and from what I've read, I should be eligible for a bursary when I start university, along with my student maintenance loan. In the meantime, I've already started looking for a job. Update. Hey everyone, I just got home, and I'm absolutely exhausted, so this will be a short update. I had a long meeting with my PA today, and he was really sympathetic. He seemed genuinely upset about how the Peters are treating me. We had our initial meeting, then I went to grab some food while he spoke to the Peters directly. After that, I met with him again so he could update me on everything. He's putting me on the list for social housing, and I'm hopeful that I won't have to wait too long before I can get my own place. I recorded the meeting because, with how sleep-deprived I am, plus my struggles with memory processing due to dyslexia/autism, or whatever the cause may be, I knew I wouldn't remember everything. I'll go over it again tomorrow after I've had some rest. But from what I gathered, I'll be getting help with rent costs, and there will also be some financial support for furniture and other essentials. As for the Peters, I'm not sure if my PA told them they had to let me stay longer or if he just asked them to, but either way, they've agreed to house me until the end of August. So at least I don't have to panic about leaving in just a few days. He also mentioned that if I ever feel too uncomfortable staying here, I could be moved to a youth hostel while waiting for permanent housing, but for now, I'd rather stay here until I'm fully ready to move, even if it's a bit uncomfortable. The Peters will continue receiving the staying put allowance until the day I officially move out, and then it will be stopped. On a completely different note, I had a huge argument with my best friend earlier. He told me I was being ungrateful, and honestly, his words really hurt. I thought, of all people, he would understand what I'm going through, but maybe not. Maybe I'm overreacting. I'm running on almost no sleep, so my emotions might be all over the place. I'm going to talk to him tomorrow after I've rested, and hopefully, this will just blow over because, right now, I really need him. I don't feel like I have anyone else. Oh, and I haven't had a chance to read all the comments yet. I wasn't expecting so many. But thank you to everyone who has offered support. It truly means a lot, and I'm incredibly grateful. Update. It never used to bother me that they were paid to care for me. Honestly, it didn't. I always knew I was a foster child, and when I was around 15, I found out they were receiving money to look after me. I told myself that was a good thing, and in a way, it probably was. I got to have loving parents for 11 years, which is more than some people can say. I just never imagined they'd make me leave the moment the payments decreased. I recently found out that when I was still a child, they were getting £111.82 per day for me. That's £40,814 a year. I never felt like I was different from the family. I always felt loved and secure. But now, I don't understand why their feelings toward me have changed. None of them will even look me in the eye anymore, and the weight of their silence makes it unbearable to leave my room. All I can feel is the absence of the love that was once there. I skipped all my meals today, something that used to be against the rules. Before, if I missed dinner, I wouldn't have gotten any food. But this time, Mom brought a plate up to my room, knocked on the door, and said she was leaving it there for me. I've replayed that moment in my head 100 times, trying to convince myself that they still care. When I got home yesterday, I called her by her first name, Claire, not Mum. She looked upset when I said it. A part of me felt satisfied by that, but another part felt cruel. I knew it would hurt her, and I still did it. A part of me wishes she would wake up, realize how much pain she's causing me, and take it all back. That she'd say this was all a mistake, that she loves me and wants me to stay. But if that was going to happen, it would have by now. I guess I'm just not worth the £76 per day they lose by not replacing me with another foster child. And when I start feeling guilty for how I've reacted, I remind myself of that. They're kicking me out for an extra £76 a day. That's what I'm worth to them. £76 a day. Update. I'll try to keep this brief. I, 18M, was removed from my biological family at the age of 7 and placed in foster care with a family known as the Peters. They raised me from that point onward, and I truly saw them as my family. They always reassured me that I could stay with them for as long as I needed to, and they even applied for a staying put arrangement, meaning they would continue receiving around £250 from the government to support me after I turned 18. Because of this, I never felt rushed to leave. I believed I had a stable home while I worked toward independence. Their biological son, whom I considered my brother, is 25, still lives with them, and doesn't work, though he graduated from university 2 years ago. I have a conditional offer to study classics at a local university, with the goal of becoming a teacher. If I achieve my predicted A levels, I'll be starting in October. But recently, the Peters told me I had to move out by the end of the week because they wanted to foster another child. This was completely unexpected and has been incredibly difficult to process. I had to contact my social worker, who intervened, and now they've agreed to let me stay until the end of August. But everything feels different. The warmth in the household is gone. I shared all of this with my best friend, and when I mentioned that I was thinking about going no contact with the Peters after moving out, he accused me of being ungrateful. He told me they took care of me for 11 years and are now making space to help another child in need, implying I should be okay with it. I understand that perspective, and maybe that's why I feel so guilty, but it doesn't erase the hurt of being pushed out so suddenly. Now, my friend isn't speaking to me, calling me selfish for wanting to stay with the family I was promised security from. I wasn't against transitioning into independent living, but there were programs that could have helped me prepare before I turned 18, and the Peters chose not to take part in them because they assured me I could always stay. At a time when I needed my best friend the most, he's turned his back on me. I don't understand why he's siding with them over me. I get the argument that they're making space for another child, but I just wish they didn't have to throw me out to do so. When I suggested to my friend that maybe their biological son could move out instead, he told me I was being selfish. I don't even know if I'll actually go no contact. I only said I felt like doing it. I regret even bringing it up because I didn't think it would lead to such a huge argument. So, Ida? Update. Jamie, the Peters' son, found my original Reddit post. In hindsight, I should have been more careful with the details, but at the time, my mind was all over the place, and I wasn't thinking straight. I'm not sure how he came across it, but considering it has nearly 10k upvotes, and the fact that he was the one who introduced me to Reddit, it's possible it just appeared on his feed. Does anyone know if being on the same network or in the same location could have made it more likely to show up for him? A few hours ago, Jamie came to my room, showed me the post, and asked if I had written it. I initially tried to deny it, but I'm a terrible liar, so he saw right through me. He asked why I hadn't told him about everything, and I said I thought he already knew. But he was completely unaware. He told me he never would have supported his parents kicking me out if he had known the full story. Apparently, they told him I wanted to move out. He seemed genuinely shocked and upset after reading my post. Despite my protests, he shared the post in our family group chat, hoping to defend me. His message was along the lines of, "Mom, Dad, I really think you should read this and see the impact this is having on, but honestly, I wish he hadn't done it." Both of them have read the message, but neither has responded. I haven't left my room since. I feel incredibly anxious, like I'm on the verge of a panic attack. I can feel it building, and I don't know what to do. Update. To Matt and Claire? I came to you as a scared, broken 7-year-old, someone who had never known love, kindness, or stability. I had been taught to fear authority, to walk on eggshells around my birth parents, never knowing when their moods would shift. I learned early on to bury my emotions, to keep my pain hidden. My world was built on fear and anxiety when I first arrived at your home. I know I was difficult back then. My behavior must have been exhausting to manage. I had grown up with mixed messages. Some actions had no consequences at all, while others led to terrifying punishments. There was no consistency, no safety. One day I could be praised, and the next, punished for the same thing. Love wasn't given freely, it had to be earned. It was always conditional. But you changed that for me. You showed me another way, what it meant to be cared for, to be treated with warmth and affection. At first, I couldn't understand it. I believed I was a burden, that there was no reason for anyone to love me. I couldn't even comprehend why you weren't hurting me. I still remember asking you, "You can hit me if I'm bad, I won't mind." That was all I knew. But slowly, you taught me to trust, not just in you, but in myself. You proved to me that no matter what, you wouldn't give up on me. That you wouldn't send me away or stop caring. And I tested that, I know I did. I was scared. But you never left. You helped me see that being in foster care wasn't my fault. That I wasn't responsible for what happened to my birth family. You gave me ways to cope with my fears, and for the first time in my life, I felt safe. I still remember the exact moment I truly felt that safety. I was 8 years old, sitting in your arms, watching Shrek. It probably felt like an ordinary day to you, but to me, it was everything. That moment is a core memory, one that shaped how I see myself. You were there for me through everything. When I was anxious about moving up to secondary school, you reassured me. When my birth mother told me she didn't want me in her life anymore, you comforted me. When my first heartbreak at 15 made my world feel like it was falling apart, you held me up. You pushed me to work hard, to believe in myself, to apply to university. More than anything, you showed me that I was worthy of love and respect. I am who I am today because of you. When I see kindness and compassion in myself, I see you. You weren't my birth family, but you were my family. My only family. So I don't understand. I don't know what changed. Now, when I leave my room, I don't feel the warmth that once made this house a home. I don't feel the love that once saved me from the darkness. It's as if you see me differently now, and I don't know why. A few days ago, you told me I had to move out. You gave me 4 days to leave the only family I've ever known. In that moment, I felt like I was 7 years old again, terrified, unwanted, discarded. I'm not saying this to guilt you or to beg to stay. That time has passed, and no matter what happens now, I don't think I'll ever see you the same way again. If this was about money, or if you truly wanted to help another child like me, I could have understood. But why didn't you talk to me? Why was it so sudden? Why did you make it feel like I didn't matter? Why tell me it's just business? Did you think that would make it hurt less? Since that day, my world has completely fallen apart. And do you know who I would have turned to if this had happened a few weeks ago? You. I would have come to you with my fears, and you would have known exactly what to say. Then we'd sit together and watch some terrible TV show, and I'd feel safe again. But now, I have no one. For the second time in my life, I feel like I've been told I don't deserve a family. But this time, there's no one left to pull me back from the edge. That was always you, Mom and Dad. It was always you I could rely on. So why are you giving up on me now? Update. My PA has kindly offered to store the belongings I can't take with me in his garage. He also found me a place at a local hostel. Apparently, I'll have my own room, which was a big factor in deciding whether I'd move in. The hostel works with the local authority and provides housing for care leavers, the UK term for those who have aged out of foster care, while they wait for permanent accommodation. I haven't sent the message yet, but I know my foster brother, Jamie, has seen it. Yesterday, I was overwhelmed with emotions. Today, I feel nothing. I'm not sure which is worse. I'll send the message once I've officially moved out. I have a room now, so I'll be gone in a few hours. I still haven't spoken to them, I just can't bring myself to face it anymore. I'm exhausted from the constant anxiety and stress. I suppose, in the end, they did get their 4-day notice after all. Edit 1. I've just left the Peters house for the last time. My room at the hostel is ready. I feel strange, sad and alone. I ordered myself a pizza for dinner, and my PA even covered the cost. I just want to crawl into bed and cry. My mind is racing, thinking about everything I need to do. Wish me luck, everyone. Edit 2. I want to clarify something. When I wrote my first post, I was hurt and in shock. But I was never eligible for adoption. Initially, the plan was to reunite me with my birth family. By the time it became clear that would never happen, I wouldn't have accepted adoption anyway. I wanted to maintain my legal ties with my birth family. The Peters always told me it didn't matter, that they loved me just the same. Maybe it wouldn't have changed anything. Maybe it would have. They were paid fortnightly to care for me, £1, 565.48 every 2 weeks. That's £40,702.48 per year, roughly $52,295.77. I keep thinking about that number. Is that all I was to them? If I could go back in time, I wonder what I'd do differently. Edit 3. I'm settled into the hostel now. It's far from luxurious, but at least I have a place. I sent the message, slightly edited from yesterday's version, and then I left the group chat. I also posted it on Facebook. That was probably a mistake. I don't know. Final update. This will be my last update. I need to move on from all of this. Claire called me, crying. She said she had no idea I felt this way. How? How could she not have known? She kept apologizing and begged me to come back. God. Why do I ruin everything? She told me she regrets the past few days, that she wishes she could take it all back. I told her this wasn't fair, that she can't throw me out and then call me sobbing. That it felt manipulative. She just kept saying she was sorry. She said she loves me and wants me to come home. Is this a lie? She had to have known. Am I the bad one here? I feel so lost and confused. I hung up and blocked her number when she started texting. But now I feel like I'm the villain. I'm just so tired of all this. I want nothing more to do with them. I don't think Reddit, or any of this, is good for me. I'm going to delete the app. Sorry, everyone. Update. When I voiced my concerns about them possibly doing to another child what they did to me, I was told they would receive extra guidance and support when children turn 17 or 18, ensuring everyone understands staying put orders. That's it. Nothing more. Just extra guidance. That's all. Extra guidance. Is that even a slap on the wrist? My PA told me that, unfortunately, they were within their rights to ask me to leave once I turned 18. I brought up how they called it a business decision, and my PA admitted that financial factors do play a role in choices like this. So that's all I was? A financial decision? Does this system seem fair to anyone? I feel like I'm losing my mind. There should be some kind of consequence for them. I'm not saying they should be banned from fostering, but I don't know. My mind is still spinning. I keep telling myself I won't post anything else here, but I honestly have no one else to talk to. Jamie, as kind as he is, doesn't really understand. And my friend? They don't get it at all. Update. It's been a while since my last post. I'm not even sure why I'm posting now. I just feel really down today when I should be feeling happy. First off, you may have noticed I deleted everything. That was intentional. I want to move on. I haven't had any contact with the Peters family since my argument with Jamie, and I'd prefer it stays that way. If Jamie decides to post more, please don't engage with him. He's just looking for attention. If anyone has a copy of what he wrote, I'd really appreciate it if you deleted it and didn't share it. He only posted those things to hurt me, and they include some of the most shameful things I've ever done. I understand if reading them changes how you see me, and if you no longer want to support me because of it. Just know that I'm truly sorry for what I did as a child. That's not who I am now, and honestly, it wasn't even who I was then. I never meant to hurt or mislead anyone. The Peters already have a new foster child living with them. I mentioned before that I wanted it on record that they tried to kick me out without notice, but all that came of it was that they'd receive extra guidance if another child in their care approaches 18. I have mixed feelings about it. It seems like nothing more than a slap on the wrist, but at least someone will be watching when another foster child ages out. On a brighter note, I have some good news. My PA got in touch with my first choice university, which also happens to be his alma mater, and somehow convinced them to change my conditional offer to an unconditional one. That means I get to study there no matter what grades I get in my A-levels. I have no idea how he pulled that off, but I'm beyond grateful. He also had them explain all the support I qualify for as a care leaver. They're giving me free accommodation for my first year, which is a massive relief because I had no clue how I'd manage commuting every day. They're also lowering the passing grade boundaries for me in my first year, though I hope I won't need that. I want to earn good grades, and they're providing a starter pack with essentials for my first year. Even with all this good news, I don't feel happy. I'm trying to hide it, but I'm really anxious about starting university. The Peters used to help me with big transitions like this, especially Claire, who gave me a lot of emotional support. It feels like I'm missing a part of myself. I know this sounds stupid, and you'll probably tell me it is, but the other day, I went back to the Peters' house and just watched from a distance. They had no idea I was there, but I could see into the living room window. Everything seemed so normal, they were just going about their lives, and the new foster child was there too. I sat there for hours just watching. I want to go talk to them. But I know it's a bad idea. I shouldn't want them back, but I do. I feel so isolated right now, which is probably why I'm posting again. Oh, and one last thing, I do not give consent for anyone to re-upload this or any of my past posts on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, or anywhere else. Some of my earlier posts have already been uploaded, and they've racked up over 250k views. It makes me feel sick that people are profiting off my pain. I know asking won't stop them, but if you come across those videos, just know that I do not support them.